Weird Saturday morning update in the afternoon. It's almost 1 o'clock, you fucking idiot. I made that clip with the audio AI generator stable audio. So I'm still working with that. I got that, and the next one I'm going to play you. I've been messing around with. I got just these 2 tracks now, but you pretty much do it. I think it's like an unlimited number of tracks up to like 40 seconds or something like that for the free one, and then it's 90 seconds for the paid version. Hey, Christian Carpenter, good to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna give some updates here, but I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing with the stable AI. I think this one, or stable audio rather, AI audio generator. So I'm gonna play this one on loop. I'm able to upload these and use them for free as you know, technically it's my creation, well, through the AI generator. So I am allowed to use these as long as I don't sell them. So check this out. Film stories, right? I was probably going to echo though now that I got my mic on. Didn't think about that. In the future, I can just play this when I'm talking about weird esoteric stuff or whatever. Just play that audio in the background when I have headphones in. It won't echo. Anyway, yeah. So it's Saturday. I worked a shit ton apparently, and so I was well compensated for that. Oh, all right. Christian Carpenter says no echo on my end, and putting axles in your car. All right, yeah, got to do that axle replacement. I did the driver's side and the rear a couple of years ago because I was convinced that would fix the issue with my brakes, which it didn't. It appears to be a problem with the ABS system. So, yeah, I haven't been able to have that looked at, but I was like, well, you know, you got a cheap axle replacement anyway, so I do that. Because that whole driver's side rear end is just jacked up from having that issue and the accident I had. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I was only joking. I mean, don't actually drive recklessly. Well, I guess it's too late now. Huh? I was only kidding. I should serve as an example because I have nearly killed myself a couple of times. Luckily, with not with other motorists involved, but just myself. Um, although I had a near miss at the crosswalk, going from job to job last week. I was trying to get onto the freeway. The guy was illegally crossing and across the freeway entrance, so there was no crosswalk. But me being in a hurry and Mr. Leadfoot as I am, I was like, "There's a car stopped on the left. Why is this guy stopped? The lights, it just turned yellow, and I was coming to the intersection, but this guy was stopped in the intersection." I'm thinking, well, maybe he's trying to left turn because that's pretty common there because it's like a big one-way circuit, so you have to kind of go around the block. So he might have like gone, too late on the left turn or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna go around him on the right, and so I start speeding up, and then I friggin' skid to a stop, and there's this jerk. I know him. No, he's usually a nice guy, but he's there in the frickin' on the freeway on ramp, and he goes, "Red light," and I was like, "Crosswalk." Like, you're not in a crosswalk. You're on the fucking freeway on ramp. Like, what? So anyway, so I didn't hit it, but it was one of those near miss situations where you're just like, fuck. Like, okay, probably should have slowed down a little bit there, but usually, I don't have too many run-ins like that. So I haven't hit. Luckily, I haven't hit any other vehicles since I was. Well, no. All right. I had two when I was 19 years old. Um, One was with a guy in a rented car, and I backed into him because of a road rage incident. Because the guy that I was having the road rage incident between me and him, he stopped in front of me and got out of his car, and so I went to back up just to get away from him without checking behind me, and I dinged the guy in the rental car behind me, and then he ended up just being like, "Well, if the rental agency doesn't notice, then we won't say anything." So that never got reported, and and there's that one, and then I backed into my drummer's car in the same year in the same car, where he was somewhat parked in front of my driveway, and I dinged the passenger side quarter panel, uh, the rear quarter panel. But he didn't want to do anything about it. He was like, whatever, it's friggin' dent. We were at a house party at my place, so it's like, yeah, whatever. And so none of those ever got reported. But those are the only times I've ever hit other vehicles. Like any other time, it's been me on a mailbox, me on a tree, me. So pretty much just suicidal in that way. No, I don't, I don't drive that fast. I just like to accelerate as quickly as possible. Right. Get it up to speed. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you're in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, it ticks me off when people just like cruise at 10 or 12 miles an hour. I'm like, you can do the speed limit. That's the limit is not like actually the limit in most places. Like, well, okay, in like a school zone or residential, cool, kill it. But like, on the highways, you have like generalized speed. Like, even if you're on like a city street, like, okay, if it's a 45 mile an hour zone, if there's clear traffic, clear weather, I might be doing 50. Like, I don't think that's unreasonable. If you can safely operate your vehicle, I mean, and it's within the parameters of the law, but people are driving like 10 miles an hour under, and there's a whole movement going on where I'm at in California where they're trying to actually have the speed limits reduced. They want to, anywhere where it's posted 55, they want a 35, and they will go out of their way to go out and drive in traffic that way, as if it is like, because they're like, oh no, we're gonna slow down this, this zone over here, this back road, this frontage road that people usually use to bypass the highways. But people live out here, and so the resident, they take it upon themselves to try and play traffic conductor, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. They're just out here in their civilian vehicles, just like trying to control traffic and brake check people. It's crazy. I'm like, dude, you are not the fucking lawgiver here. Just because you live on this street doesn't mean you make all the rules, brother. That's not how that works. All right, so my updates. I am officially, I am engulfed in capitalism. I have a Cash App card now, apparently, and a Cash App. But no, that wasn't really what I wanted to talk about. I was just going to make a mention of it. I was like, there's one thing I will never do: get involved in all of these pseudo financial institutions, and that's exactly what I've done. I'm on PayPal, Cash App, Google Pay. So yeah, I do that now apparently. And then after 9 years of waiting, I finally got onto the Section 8 voucher wait list, which is like you're on the wait list before the wait list, and now I'm on the next wait list. But that means I actually got selected out of the lottery. There's a good chance that I might actually get into subsidized housing relatively soon, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But I got the notice as of this month. I'm finally in that system, so might be able to actually get my own place one of these days here shortly. That's kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm hoping for. Let's see some more comments here. Your axles were weak. The weak link in your drivetrain upgraded them. Oh, okay, I see. That might be something I've got going on too. Right now, I've got other engine issues though, but I know there's some issues with that. The rear end setup, and it is a rear wheel drive vehicle. The yellow light was your first clue. Yeah, well, I know. I know you shouldn't run yellow lights. Thanks, Sandy. No, I'm like, but there was no reason for him to be stopped there, except that there was a pedestrian illegally crossing in front of him. Yeah, got it. I don't trust other drivers. It's like, because I see people do so much stupid shit that I'm usually like, why are you doing that? There's probably no good reason for it. I saw another guy in the same spot while I was working there the other day, and he intentionally stopped a delivery van, and he had like a good like 40 feet, at least 40 feet. Like it was a good distance, like, and he intentionally stopped this delivery van. I guess he thought the guy was tailgating him, and so freaking he stopped short and made the guy stop on the railroad tracks. And then the guy was honking at him, signaling, doing everything he could, and I was walking over. Luckily, the light finally turned green, and the guy like kind of slowly trudged. But I was like, that's again super dangerous. Like, you think you're making a point to somebody, but you're intentionally stopping somebody at a railroad crossing, inside of a railroad crossing, just to be a dick, just to make, like, that's not a matter of principle, dude. Like, that you're acting, the way you're acting is dangerous, right? Ox said, had that happen on the bike lane once. A little girl on a bike tried to cross in front of me. Luckily, I was just leaving a stop sign, so I dumped it just before I hit her. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's rough. I had another one in Sacramento. where a couple years ago, I mean, it was not nearly as close, but I had a woman with a kid in a stroller who came out, and she was crossing in the crosswalk, but it was my green, and just because of the dynamics of it, I didn't see them until I was like clear out into the intersection, and then again had to stop in the intersection. Um, like I said, it wasn't nearly as close, but I was looking at her and I was inclined to be like, "What are you doing? Like, why would you push your kid out into the, you know what I mean? Like, when you know that you don't have the right of way, like, it is not your go." um, yeah, that one was scary. Anytime it involves children, I'm just, jeez. But and parents, when the parents are there, I just, what are you doing? Um, I've seen people, they use their kids like human shields. They'll be like, "Well, I'm across now. If you want to hit me, you're gonna hit my kid," and they'll put the kid in front of the vehicle. Like, what? What is that? Like, what are you thinking? Install a train horn on your car. I don't know. My car's horn is pretty loud. Saved a lot of folks from getting speeding tickets by staying between the limit and a few miles over. Just saying, they can ride my ass as close as they want. Yes. Um, and I think it's lane navigation, like an appropriate speed especially on the highways, is like something like I will do in my car. I've got a Mustang, so it's a sports car, but I will do 55 to 60 miles an hour in the right lane and just hang there. And I'll have other sports cars come up. They'll get right next to me. They'll get right on my ass. They're passing other people. I'm like, no, dude, we're on the right. But if I move over to the left, we're going to gradually increase because this is the way that the highway is supposed to work. Like, you're going to get over, you're going to be passing those vehicles on the right. You're going to be passing the trucks. You're going to be passing the RVs. That's the way it's supposed to work. If people don't understand, it's like sometimes they need a friendly reminder. Like, this is me leading by example, not trying to control you and impede your emotion, but I'm leading by example. This is the way that this thing's supposed to operate so that everybody can navigate around each other. And it's like people in the carpool lane doing 50. What are you doing over there? You can get on the right. Just, yeah. I mean, in some ways I love driving in the sense that, well, I mean, I love driving like on empty roadways. If it's just me out there in a four banger or whatever, I'm having fun. But driving in traffic, driving around and navigating around other people says so much about human behavior and the way that people operate, especially when they're surrounded by this machine. It's often said about road rage. It's like it doesn't get real until you get out of the car. Like, when you're in the car, you're like, fuck this guy, I'll fuck him up, blah 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 blah. Your machismo goes through the roof, whether you're male or female. You can't help it. And then once people get out of the car and the situation starts to actually escalate, like, oh wait, I didn't sign up for this. This was just vehicle on vehicle violence. Um, so, um, go off on random tangents, Abe. Um, but yeah, well, I'll be dealing with that in a minute anyway, because I do have the commute, but it's not too bad today. Shouldn't be too bad today. Um, okay, so I got that one. Got my phone bill paid, obviously, and so yeah, the housing thing was just a big boost for me. But at the same time, I have child support hearing coming up. So and so they've raised my child support. Probably gonna raise it just because the extreme hardship for me. But again, I have to prove that to the court. So um, it's kind of where I'm at this morning. I'll be doing hopefully, if things go as planned, I'll be doing 2 shows tomorrow. Basically, I'm gonna dissect the Jill video I recently did, but I'm gonna do it from back to front. I actually want to start with the open dialogue that I have with William P. Town and a couple other people come in the room, but specifically want to address some of William's points towards the end of the video because I think they are interesting, but kind of tangential to the conversation. Then I want to go back and dissect the video and the portions that are one-on-one between Jill and I and the points that are made there. So probably two videos on that. And then additionally, I'm going to do a call-in show in the morning. That's the plan. So yeah, I'm going to take another run at that. If anybody wants to call open topic, I'll probably have like a set list of maybe 3 to 5 topics that people can call in and give me opinions about, and I'll give my opinion on those things. And they'll probably be somewhat related to, things we usually talk about on the channel. So yeah, should be fun. I don't know. We'll see. Sundays are usually hit or miss around here, but yeah. And Silver Wolf and I will be streaming again on Monday at the Ghost Pack channel. And we're in the process of scheduling an interview with the creator of For the Booze podcast, who we've been reviewing on there. So we may actually have a panel with us and them going on soon. So yeah, check that out. It might be interesting. Do reserve the right to flip them off if they're riding my bumper. Be careful with that, though. That's how I got into that first fender bender. Well, okay, no, it wasn't exactly the same. He wasn't riding my ass. So what happened was, I'll tell the story. So I'm cruising. I'm doing the speed limit. We're in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. And this truck, clean white truck, just pulls out off the side street while I'm cruising it was a 2-lane roadway. I'm in the right lane doing the speed limit. He pulls out off the side street, and he was from a dead stop out in front of me, so that I had to slam my brakes, slow down to like maybe 10 miles an hour so that I didn't rear end him, and check my mirror, got over to the left, and then I got up beside him and accelerated again. And I flipped him off as I was going by. I said, "What the fuck, dude? Like, you could have waited 10 seconds so that I didn't have to slam my brakes when you came out." And but I don't think, we didn't have a conversation about it. I just kind of went past him with my middle finger in the air. And so that's when he accelerated, got up behind me. I got over to the right, and he was riding my ass the whole way. And then he got up on the left, so I got back over to the right. He gets on the left beside me, and he's yelling out of his window. And then he pulls up and he gets in front of me. And we happen to both be pulling into the same parking lot. And so I'm still behind him. I'm like thinking, okay, I flipped him off. He flipped me off. It's whatever. Well, as we're pulling into the lot, he puts his truck in park right in front of me. So he blocked me while I was basically on the I was blocking the sidewalk essentially where I was, and there was a line of cars in front of and behind me, and so that was how that whole situation escalated. And he got out of the truck, and yeah, he was a big motherfucker, and I had a baby in the back seat, and I was like, okay, I'm not trying to fight this guy right now. So I had 2 options. I was like, I either try to put it in drive and run him over, or put it in reverse and try to see if I can get out of here. And so instinct kicked in, rolled up the windows, put it in reverse, boom. And I guess that the other driver, saw that and said, "Oh, okay." And so he got back in his truck and got out of there. So I was just dealing with the guy in the rental car. And that was kind of the long and the short of the story. So yeah, I pussed out. But yeah, I did the responsible thing in a sense because it involved another motorist at that point, which would have, if police would have gotten involved. And the guy that I hit said he saw the whole thing, basically with the dude pulling up beside me and wigging out of his window and then stopping me and stuff like that. So yeah. So but a middle finger. All it takes is a middle finger sometimes. Just saying. But reserve your right to use your middle finger. Don't be afraid of those motherfuckers. No. Worst case scenario, you run them over with your car, you get the fuck out of there, and then you pretend that you didn't see them. I don't know. It works for some people. All right. Trusty Ape, Trusty Ape at Trusty Ape Co. But do not email trustyapeco@gmail.com. Please email at stupidmonkeyphilosophy@gmail.com with any inquiries. I also should have another upcoming stream with Gorilla's Random Thoughts very soon. Yeah, Gorillas and I, we're talking. Um, no, officer, I did not run that man over. I closed my eyes and asked Jesus to take the wheel. And so he did. All right. Good night. Good luck. Oh, wait. What time is it? It's not morning, that's for sure. 1:23 p.m. Must be numerology. All right. We'll see you next time. Much love. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Ox. And thank you, Christian Carpenter. Everybody for coming by.